What's good, guys? Got another deck profile for you today. This is going to be my Bulma Earthlings deck list. I really love this deck. It's one of my favorite decks. It just uses a bunch of really stupid cards. And it just... I normally don't like playing red decks. Like, you might notice I've profiled almost 0 red decks on the channel, but this one I like a lot because it doesn't really play like a red deck. And we'll get to see why in just a second. So, Bulma, she's from set 8, so quite old at this point, but she's still kicking and actually doing some really good stuff now. She's got this great permanent. All your red and yellow Saiyan and Earthling cards in your battle area gain blocker. She's only a 5k, you'll notice, kind of like the old Hercule leader. She's kind of like got that Earthling drawback, but giving all of your guys blocker, super clutch. You can activate Bane once per turn, draw a card, so you don't even have to swing to draw a card. Awesome. And then you awaken, untap 2, and then flip over. Then on the backside, she still has that permanent to give all your guys blocker. And you have an activate Bane once per turn, draw 2. So this is actually super great. You're just drawing 2 every turn. You don't have to attack your opponent at all. And your awaken turn is stupid good, because you get to go... do your activate main once per turn, draw a card, awaken, untap 2, and then draw 2 on the back. So you're drawing 3 and untapping 2 on your awaken turn. Pretty good. Almost as good as Golden Frieza, so not too bad. Let's get into the rest of the deck here. So this deck uses some sweet, sweet characters, some of your favorite characters from Dragon Ball here. We've got Baba, Champion's Leader. What does this do? This is from set 5. It's kind of an old garbage card, but it's awesome in this deck because it's an Earthling. Alright, so it has an auto. When you play this card, you can search your deck for a Bandages, a Spike, or I believe a Gohan. Yeah, Bandages, Spike, or a Sun Gohan. That's all of the things. Except for, I guess, the Vampire. They didn't give you a Vampire card for this chain, so that kind of sucks. But and then you put it in the drop. So you search your deck for one of those 3 characters, put it in the drop, and then play a Bandages from your drop. So you can essentially tutor any of the pieces you're missing for your chain, put it in the drop, and then you also get to play a Bandages. So generally you're going to lead off with a Bandages. She does not have the blocker keyword, but hey, guess what? Yes, she does, because your leader says she gets the blocker keyword. Awesome. Alright, next up, we've got Bandages to the rescue. This guy does have blocker naturally, so he actually gains 2 instances of blocker, so if your opponent, does something to, God Strike Beers to take away one of them, he still has it, so that's interesting, I guess, but not really relevant. However, when you block with him and he dies, you get to take a Spike from your drop area and play him in rest mode. Alright, so what's Spike do? Here's Spike to the rescue. Alright, so he has an auto when he attacks, he gets plus 9k. Not really relevant, we're not swinging with him. And then when he gets KO'd, you get to play a Grandpa Gohan from your drop area in rest mode. Guess what? He's not a blocker, but yes he is. Your leader says he's a blocker, so you get to go, alright, start your chain here. Baba gets Bandages. Bandages blocks, dies. Bandages gets out Spike in rest mode. Then next turn, you can block with Spike. Spike dies. Then you get out Grandpa Gohan in rest mode. You see where I'm going with this? You get this never-ending chain of blockers, and it's awesome. Alright, so what's Grandpa Gohan do? So he has this interesting activate main. You can take him and a Bandages and a Spike from your drop area, shuffle them all into your deck, and then you can play this vanilla Grandpa Gohan 30k from your deck and give it plus 5k and double strike for the turn. So we're playing one of the Grandpa Gohan here, and then I'm getting kind of my numbers mixed up around here. I'm getting too excited. So we're playing, this is our chain here. We got 4, 3, 3. We got one of this and one of this, because this is kind of the later parts of your chain. Yeah, they can get stuck in your life sometimes, which is unfortunate when it happens, but generally just getting the value started on this part of the chain is good enough, even if that happens. We generally don't go into this 30k. He's just kind of a nice option to have, especially for killing unisons and whatnot, because he gains double strike, or just as a backup win condition. But for the most part, this is the chain kind of ends here, and we get this big 19k blocker in play. So that's the beginning portions of the deck and kind of the primary strategy. Oh, hello, my cat is right there. That's the primary strategy. So we just spam the board with Earthlings. We're just going hella plus on value. You play Baba, she gets out Bandages for free. You're plus 1, you get 2 blockers in play, and then every time one of them dies, they get another guy into play. So pretty nice. Next up, we've got Android 17 Rebel Reinforcements. He's not an Earthling. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I think it's garbage. He should have the Earthling tag. But he doesn't. So he's not a blocker, unfortunately. He stays a 15k beater, though. And more importantly, he has this ability, counterattack, negate the attack, play this card, and then you can play a red battle card with cost 1 from your drop area. So you get to play him, negate an attack, and bring out another blocker. So you bring out Baba. Guess what? You played Baba. You get to put bandages into play too. Bam. Easy. Easy money. That is kind of the value chain right there. And then you have this 15k still living on the table to take out their unisons or just beat down their leader very slowly. Alright, next up we have Heroic Duo Videl. Permanent doesn't matter. I couldn't even tell you what the permanent does, honestly. I've never actually had it be relevant in a deck. However, it is a 1 energy counterattack, negate the attack, play this card, and she's an Earthling. So she comes in, negates an attack, and then is a blocker ready to negate another attack. This is just the all-star team right here. We got 17, Videl, Bandages, Spike, Baba, easy. Alright. Next up we have, for the rest of our negates here, we've got Vados' Assistants. What's that do, James, you say? I don't know what that card does. It's absolute garbage. It's from set 1. What does it do? Counter attack. Negate the attack and then choose one of your battle cards and switch it to active mode. Complete trash. Or is it? It's not, because all of these guys, when they die, they bring in their counterpart in rest mode. So you can negate an attack for 1 energy here, and then, you say you block, bring out Spike. Spike comes in rest mode, then you negate their next attack, or you stand Spike, bam, he's ready to block, and then bring out his next buddy right there. Alright, so that's cute. It's not, the best interaction. These could definitely be like a Violent Raise or something, now that that card is available, but I still like it. I think it's cute, and I like it when people have to read what Vados' Assistance does, so that's a bonus for me. Bulma the Bunny Girl. She's got blocker built in. Doesn't matter. She's an Earthling. She gets double blocker. She's unique. But the main important part here is this auto. When one of your Earthlings is killed by your opponent's skill, you can play her from your hand and then play an Earthling from your drop area. So if your opponent is trying to get rid of your wall of blockers, you say, ha, that was cool. Guess what? I've got a blocker in play again, and I'm bringing out another blocker. And it can be cost 4 or less. So you can bring out your Yamcha the Desert Hyena, which I'll get to in a minute, or your 30k Thickum, or, just a Baba. Bring Baba back, bring back bandages. You got your whole board back again. People hate it. I love it. This is awesome. Continuing down the chain here, going down our tech pieces, we've got Saiyan Kaba. Guess what? It's in the name. He's a Saiyan. He gains blocker. More importantly, he's got his auto to swing, help you get self-awakened if you want to start taking some life, and gain double strike to help kill a unison. He's Saiyan Kaba. He's a card from set 1 that people actually know what he does. And with good reason. We've got Mai, King Piccolo's Underling. This card is obnoxious. So this was built as a silver bullet for essentially blue decks. It doesn't say blue, but it's really for blue decks. It's from the new draft box 6. It's a 1 energy barrier. When you play her, draw a card. Also, she's an Earthling. I just love saying that. So she's, first of all, a barrier blocker for 1 energy that draws you a card. Already a pretty good rate. But if we continue reading, she has this auto once per turn. If your opponent switches an energy to active mode using a counter skill, you burn them for a life and drop 1 of their energy. So if you're trying to get in for game and they're just going Dimension Magic or one of the other counters that restands, like Revenge Big Bang Attack, nope, you just get wrecked, scrub. Mai is awesome, and the fact that she's a barrier blocker cantrip on a stick is just the icing on the cake there. Next up, we've got Vegeta Resolve Renewed. This guy's from the Anniversary box. He was built for the Vegito leader from set 2, but he's actually really good in our deck. He's a Saiyan, so he's a blocker. Love saying that. He's a blocker. So he's a counter play. I'm going to have to read this just to make sure, because he's got a lot of text on him. So if the battle card being played has 15k power or less, it's placed in its owner's drop area instead of being played, and then play this card. Then he also has a permanent of, if you have 3 or more energy, you reduce the energy cost of him in your hand on your opponent's turn by 2. So he's a 1 energy counter play, kill a 15k or less on a stick. So you counter their play. You do have to have 3 energy. That's something I forget sometimes. You have to have 3 energy, counter their play of 15k or less, play him. Hey, guess what? You've got a blocker lined up. He also has this activate main. That doesn't matter because their leader's not Vegito, but that's just fine by me. Alright, getting into the nitty-gritty here, we've got SSB Kaioken Son Goku, Concentrated Destruction. I know this guy's still a little bit expensive. He's an SR from Draft Box 5, but He's really nice tech to have, but you can build the deck without him. I smoke him because I got him. He is a 15k for 3 with Deflect. So Deflect, really important keyword nowadays because of cards like Super Saiyan Trunks God Sealing Technique. He has an auto when you play him, you kill all of your opponent's battle cards with what, 20k power or less. So if you're in some sort of like weird mirror or like against like Sin Shenron or something that has like a butt ton of cards in play, you just go, nah, kill all the ones with 20k power or less. Pretty good. Not only that, you can activate main, red, discard him from your hand, and kill one of your opponent's battle cards for 25k, ignoring barrier. So say you're against like Invoker or like Slug's Army or something that relies heavily on having a barrier battle card in play, you just go, 2 energy, kill that. Easy. Not only that, it's a Saiyan, so guess what, guys? It's a blocker. Pretty good card right there. Yamcha the Lawless, this is a promo. He's a little hard to pick out just because he's from the last kind of, the set 10 batch of tournament packs. It is just another kind of tech card. Not necessary. I did run the deck without him for quite a while until the price dropped on him, but he is really nice to have. He's got an auto at the end of your turn, draw 1. So once you're, on your front side, if you have him in play, you're drawing 2 cards every turn without having to swing. And then on the back side, you're drawing 3 cards every turn without having to swing. So you're just burying your opponent in card advantage while they're having to swing at you to get cards, and you're just saying no the whole time. He also has this decent activate battle once per turn. You can pay red, give him plus 15k and double strike for the battle. Not the turn, but the battle. And by decent, I mean insanely good. He's just a great way to close out the game, where you can just pay 2 energy, mark a unison, super easy. Yamcha the Lawless is flawless. Coming up around the bend here, win conditions. We've got Yamcha the Desert Hyena. If you don't know what he does, I'm going to read him because he has a lot of words on him. Alright, so he's got a permanent. If your leader's red, he gets plus 10k power. Hey, guess what? Our leader's red. He gets plus 10k power. He's a 30k for 4. Not too shabby. But let's keep reading. Auto, once per turn. During a battle, when this card is attacking, your opponent activates a counter skill. Switch this card to active mode. Alright, so guess what? Your opponent tries to negate your attack. Alright, I'm just going to try again. Really good. However, if that hasn't sold you yet, guys, let's keep going. What else does he do? Auto, once per turn. When this card KOs an opponent's battle card, switch this card to active mode and it gets plus 10k power and triple strike for the turn. Alright, that's pretty good. So let's add that up. So he has a permanent that says 10k, plus 10k, so he's a 30k. He has an auto that if they try and stop your attack, he restands once per turn. And then he also has this auto, if he kills their battle card, which he's probably going to, he's a 30k. He restands, gets another plus 10k, and gains triple strike. So that's a 40k triple striker for 4 is essentially what it boils down to. And, hey, if they kill something, you get to put it into play for free. I'm just going to put that out there. Pretty good. This guy is our main game ender. He's, I read what he did, and you guys know that that's really good. But let's spice up the pot a little more. We got Sin Shenron, Unison of Calamity. All right, so this guy has 3 specified cost unison, hefty cost. However, he has this great permanent that says your red battle cards or all your battle cards? Your red cards can attack your opponent's battle cards in active mode. Interesting. If only there was some really good synergy with killing your opponent's weak little battle cards that leave in active mode. Let's keep going, though. +1. You get to choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards, give them minus 15k power for the turn. I wonder what that could be good with. Interesting. Alright. And, icing on the cake, -2. Activate main. Look at your opponent's hand. Look at your opponent's hand. Discard a battle card with 25k power or less. You look at their hand, guys. And it doesn't even come into play like Mecha Frieza promo. It just goes to the drop area. You're like, oh, you're holding up a Topo or a Trunks promo, like the SS2 Trunks promo. Nah, get him out of here. And then you get to see their whole hand, so you get to figure out what their plays are for the whole rest of the turn. Yeah, you're probably winning the game if you do that. Oh, it's also a 20k. Really hard to kill. 20k. Not too bad. Alright, we're playing a Unison, and guess what? That means we get to play 3 counters, too. Yamcha, Merciless Barrage. We're just playing 3 because he's a little bit on the weaker side, honestly, for a
free counterplay when it comes to this cycle. Probably the worst one in the cycle. Not to say he's bad. He has a counterplay. Choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards. They get minus 15k power for the turn, and then play this card. One thing to note, you cannot choose the card that they're playing with this skill unless it's a skill, unless they're playing it off of a skill, in which case it opens multiple counter windows, and you can play it on counter window 2, and then choose the card. Why is that? It's really confusing, but I'll tell you why. It says counterplay. Choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards, and they get minus 15k power for the turn, and play this card. It's not counterplay, play this card, auto choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards, and kill them. It's all a part of the counterplay skill, and it's all part of this line. So, what that means is that you have to... The card they're playing isn't in play yet to choose when you activate this counterplay skill. They're still trying to play it, so they're like, hey, I want to play my thing. You say, okay, counterplay, play this. This thing's not on the table yet to choose. You have to choose 2 of their other things. But you still get to, kill a couple of battle cards, or at least reduce their power by a lot, and then you get a 15k blocker in play too. However, this does change with, this turned into a rules primer really quick, but this does change with multiple counter windows. So if there's a skill that plays a battle card, it opens multiple counter windows, and then you can say you play this on counter window 2, which is after the battle card comes into play, and then it is in play for you to choose. So that's something to keep in mind there. I know that's really confusing, so if you have questions, you can hit me up in the comment section below. I'm glad to clarify anything on that. Alright, and then we're rounding the corner here. I'm glad you stuck with me through that little rules synopsis here. We've got our super combos. We got that Nappa Know-How, Nappa Demolition Man. Why are we playing this card as our super combo? He's a Saiyan, and when you combo with him, he comes into play. Not in rest mode. He's not like double shot Super Saiyan Vegeta. He comes into play in active mode, because this takes your super combo slot. It's gotta be good. So, your opponent swings at you. You combo out with Nappa. Guess what? He comes into play. He's a red Saiyan. He's got blocker. I love saying it. I love it. This deck's great. And finally, guys, we've got our last card. Frieza Army Reborn. It's a secret rare. Not necessary to play with the deck at all. I don't think I've ever played this card in the deck yet, and I've played this deck a lot. It doesn't come up super often, but it is a nice option to have. I've thought about just playing like a Fu Shrouded in Mystery, which I actually have one just sitting right here, instead, just to like help with like the Sin Shenron matchup, because this deck is super slow. But I like that this is red, so it can charge red. That's pretty much the only reason. But yeah, that's the deck, guys. It's awesome. I really like this deck. It suits my playstyle perfectly, because I really like just winning eventually. Like, this deck doesn't have a ton of win conditions. It has like Yamcha the Desert Hyena, which is like an okay win condition. It's like a 40k triple strike. It doesn't take out a ton of their life all in one go, because we're not poking at them really that much early. And we have like the secret rare and like the Sin Shenron Unison, and that's pretty much it for win cons. So you're really just kind of grinding your opponent out and out-carding them, and eventually, and you're just kind of outlasting them with the deck, and that's the whole point of Bulma. So yeah, thanks for checking out my profile, guys. I know that was a little bit of a longer-winded one, but thanks for sticking it out. Thanks for checking out the video here. Make sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button. If you got any questions, comments, hit us up in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.